Who's got the
Okay,
green
let's do.
light?
Yeah. All right, here we go. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Father, Son, and Title Show podcast. We are a real estate podcast getting to know our realtors, lenders, anyone in the real estate industry, and also getting to know them a little bit and promoting their business at the same time, seeing what they're doing in the real estate world. So this is our first show of 2023. We took a couple months off, but we're back and we are coming on strong, and we've got a great guest today. We're excited to have him on the show. Steve DeLeon, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yes, we wanted to get you on for a while, and then the year ended. It's about, you know what? Let's start the year off with a big bang and a heavy hitter. We know you're doing a lot of good things in the real estate world, but first, we want to know who Steve is outside of real estate, man. Tell us a little bit about who you are, family, community, maybe hobbies, things like that, about who you are outside of the real estate world.
Okay. Um, Fort Worth boy, been here pretty much all my life. Went to grade school, middle school, high school here in Fort Worth, and I've been married for 35 years. And I've got two kids, Alexandra, my daughter Alexandra, my son Stephen, that are also part of our business here. And outside of really real estate, real estate is so encompassing, and it opens up so many other doors and opportunities to not only provide a service for your client, but then also provide services for your community. And one of the things that's always been a big part of our family and what we do is really giving back. So we really like to get involved with multiple nonprofits, in the area. So we've served on some board. I've served on some boards before, just on different committees of some different nonprofits. But we're always looking, to partner with them, because we feel like we have a responsibility of giving back ourselves, and it's something that we wanted to teach our kids to do, and they've become involved with some nonprofits themselves, and so we're really happy about that. But then we know that it's doing the community some good by getting involved with some of these nonprofits.
Sure. Yeah, no, that's an awesome thing, man. You said 35 years
Been married
married?
35 years, yeah.
Oh man, congratulations on
Well,
that.
thank you.
You don't hear a lot of long-term marriages anymore in this world we live in, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's definitely and I guess going back, one of the pieces of advice that you can pick up from someone is that the most important decision you'll ever make is who you're going to end up spending the rest of your life with. And that's the number one. And I think if more people focused on knowing that is the most important decision that they'll make, they'd make the right one in the beginning. They wouldn't get too committed with the wrong ones in the beginning. Yeah.
That's very true. That's very
Yeah.
true, man. What is your wife's name?
Her name is Barbara.
Barbara, hi. We want to say hi to you and congratulations on that. Any grandkids?
No grandkids yet. No grandkids yet.
Oh,
But
wow. Okay.
I'm sure they'll come eventually.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. Well, I've got 30 years myself, married, and but
Okay.
I've already got 9 grandkids.
Holy
So
smokes.
yeah, you're way
You've got
behind,
your
Steve. You got to
own
catch up.
baseball team.
Yeah, and most of them are girls, so we've got a girl team, man,
So you
going
got
on.
a softball team there.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly,
That's
man.
awesome.
What?
Congratulations.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
What do you do for fun, man? I know, like you said, business is very encompassing, but
Yeah.
what do you do? What do you like to do to have a little fun and just break the monotony of real estate and the involvement in that?
Yeah. The thing is that I have so much fun doing what I do. To me, it's like, I tell people when I was a kid growing up, I loved playing Monopoly, and that's why I've got that board behind me. And for me, it's so much fun doing what we do that it doesn't really seem like work. But, outside of that, I'm sure you can see the clubs behind me. So, I like to play a little golf here, with some friends,
Ah,
not like a weekly type of thing, but like to go out, occasionally and play some golf. And I like to. My wife and I like to spend quite a bit of time in Santa Fe. So we'll go over there and we probably go 3 or 4 times a year, spend some time in Santa Fe, and then try to travel to different places across the globe or across the United States.
Nice, nice. Now,
Yeah.
what's the best travel spot you've ever went to? Is it Santa Fe, or is there something a little
I
broader than
think
that?
that's a really good question because every place we've gone has its unique beauty, right? You go, you're a California guy, right? So you
Yeah.
understand, what the beach is and the Northern California, what that looks like with the forests and everything. We've done a lot of that, gone to a lot of those places. Santa Fe to me is just a quick, easy getaway. It's a quick drive to get there. You can spend 3 or 4 days, have some really great food, great environment, temperatures. We try to get away from the heat here to get over there. So, temperatures are a lot better. But then, we've traveled to Spain as a family, and that was a lot of fun as well. We've been able to do that. We stayed in we went over the holidays a couple of years ago, so we were able to spend Christmas at one location and then New Year's at a different location, and that was a lot of fun to take the kids and and experience that with them as well.
Oh, that's really cool. That's really
Yeah,
nice. Yeah, I
yeah. So
stay
it
in this.
just there's just so much. We've got so much here. Even in the United States, I mean, we have a great time when we go to New York. Just the energy of New York and all of the walking the streets and the sidewalks and everything, and just yelling at a taxi driver, like a New Yorker, like, hey. Yeah, it's a lot of fun to travel and take some neat trips.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, you got to just become one, right, with your surrounding areas wherever you are,
Yeah,
especially New
exactly.
York, man.
Exactly.
You mentioned Monopoly, man. So let me ask you. I played some Monopoly in my day,
All
and
right.
with Christian, and
Don't
then my
play it
brothers when I
anymore.
was. But let me tell you this, man. You know what? And Christian were notorious in their game playing for cheating in these games, man. So yeah, Christian, why don't you tell them a little bit about your Scrabble game that you and your grandmother,
Yeah, okay. All right. So we're growing up real big on Scrabble. I'm probably like 8, 9 years old. And so we'd play Scrabble all the times with my grandparents would go over. And so one day we're playing and like, but it's competitive. Like my grandpa was super competitive, grandma was crazy. And so we're playing there, I sit to everybody. And I say, oh, hold on, like before I play my word, I got to go to the restroom. So I ran to the restroom and I grabbed the second Scrabble box that was in the closet, put it in the bathtub, and found the Z and the Q and all the high ranking letters that I needed for my word, and ran back, played it. And nobody knew for like a week until my grandma went in and cleaned the bathtub and just found the Scrabble box just holding the bathtub there.
That's crazy.
I had to confess later.
Yeah. And they know not
I
not
don't.
to not to go to sleep on you now.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to go to the bathroom anymore. I wasn't allowed to leave while we were playing games.
Mhm.
Yeah, man. And my brother, when we play Monopoly, he'd always be hiding money, and he'd never run out of money. He'd always have these 500s, like out of nowhere. I'm like, so Steve, are you, man? Did you ever do any of that in your Monopoly days?
As far as cheating on on
Yeah.
Monopoly, probably as a
Yes.
kid we as a kid we did or something like that, just to hide a house or something and just kind of magically put it out there, on there. But for the most part, no. I mean, it's such the thing about Monopoly, and it's one of the things that we talk to people that are interested in investing in real estate, that in the beginning, you may not be that great at it, right? Until you figure out that there's really a strategy behind it. And Monopoly is very similar to really real life. If
Yeah.
No one can win at Monopoly if you're waiting just to collect the $200 at go, right?
Yeah.
You have to invest in different things. So it's a really good tool, and I would encourage parents to have their kids play it, because it's they get to the understanding of, like, hey, in order to win this game, I'm going to have to do some investments. I'm going to have to take
Yeah.
some risk. I'm going to have to put myself out there, out of my comfort zone, in order to be able to to flourish and have a good life, or as they're moving forward, as they're growing up. But but yeah, so it's one of those games that I feel like it really mirrors the financial state of a family, or an individual, and their planning of how they're going to live in their later years.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. Okay, what's on the Monopoly board? What's the best properties you like to buy?
So here's the thing: I like to buy the ones that are around the corners. So like I said, it's a strategy, and you're typically, if you look at the game itself, that's you're going to get some bang for your buck if you put some houses on those corners, and people coming around the corner, they're typically going to land on your stuff. But the other ones are really like the railroads. If you can figure out a way to be able to buy all four of those with the utilities as well, then you're also collecting on something besides somebody landing just on one spot. But as you get for the railroads, the more you own, the more they're going to have to pay you in rent on those.
That's true. Yeah.
There's just a lot. I mean, there's a lot of really cool strategies behind it, and there's certain properties that you're like, okay, I want to get that. But a lot of it comes out the way the game gets played out, right? It's what other players are buying and doing, and what's being left. So you're kind of strategizing, trying to get in between what they have or some of what they have, so it's so that you're not kind of like left with somebody owning one whole side of the board, so
it's true.
It's like murderer's row, trying to get through there, without it costing you an arm and a leg.
Oh yeah, man. I would love to play it. I like to be that slumlord, right? The first couple properties from Passing Go, those first, are they purple? I think those purple ones, and then the light blue, like Connecticut, and those are the ones I like, and I love it, man, when somebody lands on my property.
Exactly.
I just love that feeling it gives you. But now you think about it way too much than I do, and even the railroads and all those I would never buy. But that's why you're where you're at and I'm where I'm at, because your portfolio is way bigger than mine.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I don't know about that, but just it's definitely a game that, as a child, I just got it. It's just one of those things where again, I wasn't any good at it as a kid because I hadn't figured it out. But then as I got older, I got better at it, and as I got better, I realized, okay, there's a strategy behind this. And I think it led to a lot of why I like real estate so much, and why I like investing in real estate so much, because there's just something there that I think for me, it's more about the whole strategy part that really gets me excited. And, that's why a lot of times we buy properties and people are like, what are you going to do with it? I'm like, really, to be honest with you, I really don't even know what we're going to do with it just yet. We're going to sit back and we're going to figure out how it works within what we're trying to accomplish.
Sure. Yeah, no, for sure, man. No, that's funny. I could talk all day on Monopoly, man, but we got to keep moving. So, all right, Christian's got a quick question for you that he needs to ask you.
All right, Steve, whether it was you being a kid throwing Monopoly boards, if that ever happened, or
what's that again?
Whenever you get really mad, if it's playing Monopoly or it's just in life in general, what is your go-to word, your go-to phrase? Give us a crazy reaction that happens when Steve gets really, really upset.
Oh, wow. That's a good one, because I don't see myself really getting upset that much about anything. Pretty laid back. It's probably going to be something in Spanish. If it comes out like pendejo or whatever, something like that we did. It's usually, and it's more than likely at this age, it's almost me like bumping into something or knocking my head on something or something like that. Something that's self-inflicted, self-caused.
I understand that, man. I'm right there with you.
Exactly.
Man. So, all right, man. No, nothing wrong with that word, man. But yeah, you seem like a pretty cool, calm guy, Yeah. So I can believe it, man. We'll go with that. Christian and I will accept that answer, and we say that because because some people lie about their answers, you know, and
Oh,
they're like, "Oh, I
really?
don't, yeah, I don't say anything." I'm like, "You're a liar, man."
Yeah, exactly.
Some people, and we know they're lying because I follow them on social media, and I'm
Yeah,
like, "Hey,
exactly.
what
Yeah.
is your bad reaction on Facebook? I can only imagine what you say in the moment."
Hmm.
But they're like, "Oh, I don't say nothing. I pray." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay."
Yeah. People are awfully brave when it comes to posting an opinion or a comment on Facebook. That's for sure. We've seen a lot of that over the last few years.
Very true. Very
Yeah.
true. All right, man. My question, next question is coming from me. And this one is through your life, what would you tell somebody? And it doesn't have to be real estate related, but I'm assuming it might be. But what would you tell someone based off of your own experiences, what not to do in life? Like you did it, you know it don't work. It doesn't work for anybody. So
Yeah.
what would you say? Hey, don't do this because you know what? I did it, and it's just not the way to get there. It's the way to do something. What would be the one thing you would advise somebody? Well, the top one, there's probably several, but what would be the top one of what not to do?
I think that if you're um, from a family perspective, from a business perspective, or an entrepreneur, or somebody that's just trying to start something off, I think it's a mistake not to have good mentors around you. I think, that to me, it's more of that. I would not advise somebody to say, hey, just do it on your own, figure it out by yourself. I would definitely encourage people to seek out good mentors that have, their well-being in mind. And because I know that I've benefited from that my entire career, where I've had some really good mentors at different stages, and some of them I took their advice. Some of them I didn't. Some of them, I looking back, I wish I had taken their advice. It would have helped on some of the bumps and bruises, right?
Sure.
But I think that I would say to someone is like, don't go through life without finding a good mentor.
Good. That's good. That's
Yeah,
really good. I once talked to a gentleman, and I was like, it was years ago, and going through some stuff, and I'm like, man, you know what? I told him what I want is I want a mentor, and he looked at me and he says, well, he goes, I'm sorry to say, he says, but there's not a lot of them out there, so, and I can't be yours,
jeez.
but he goes, you know what? The advice I give you, why don't you grow up and become a mentor yourself?
Yeah,
So, but it's true, right? I mean, even if you have them now, if you have a mentor, it's also becomes kind of your duty that hey, with
yeah,
all that knowledge you've gained, now it's time you need to pass it on. You need to
yeah,
start giving it out to everybody. And I know that you do that in your education and your university thing you've got going. We'll discuss that right now, but I think
yeah,
that's the cool piece. You know, you get to a point where you just got to make a decision too, whether you had one or not. It's kind of like, hey, I've made it this far, and now it's time to
mhm,
start dropping some of those gems and some of that knowledge and good or bad stuff. Like you
yeah,
said, hey, I wish I would have listened to some of them and you didn't. But even that, even telling
yeah.
somebody that, hey,
And
you know
I
what,
really
man?
think I'm a firm believer in really continuing the learning process. You just because, like myself, I'm going to be 60 later this year. And I still push myself and challenge myself to learn new things. And even at my age, I still have a mentor. I have a mentor that I meet with once a quarter. I run business ideas by him. I respect him so much that I share things, some of my thoughts, and things. And he just has a way of understanding. He has a business background himself, and he's much older than I am. But he just has a way of kind of breaking things down for me so that it makes a little more sense. So even someone like myself that has experience and been in an industry for a long time, I still look and search for those individuals. So I never feel like there's ever an age that you can stop learning and stop seeking out to
Yeah.
improve yourself, improve your business, your situations, how to help your team as well, and build them up and give them, the confidence and the responsibility that they need so they can grow as well. It's I would, and I could see, really be honest with you, even to, years moving forward, that I would still probably seek out somebody that I could just kind of visit with and have as a mentor, a confidant that I can run things by. So it's important to have that for sure.
Yeah. Now that's some knowledge Steve just dropped right there. So we'll make sure Christian and cut that little clip, man, because that was a good one right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's awesome. All right, man. I know we're on a time crunch here. So Steve, now we're going to move right into the real estate aspect of the show.
Okay.
And here's where we just want to know what you're doing in real estate. This is the opportunity also to promote yourself on anything you guys are doing in particular, your business, your company, your team, whatever it is. So tell us what you're doing right now in the real estate world.
Okay. Well, good. Well, I appreciate you asking that, because our company is a little bit different than most real estate companies that are out there. We don't really operate in the world of traditional sales or working with traditional buyers or sellers. Ours was more from an investment standpoint. And so over the years, we've added two other buckets besides just the investment piece. We've added an education piece where we are licensed providers for the state of Texas to give continuing education courses to realtors or title companies, anything that's kind of real estate related. We've also created the MCM University, where we're coaching and mentoring individuals that are looking to learn how to invest in real estate in the DFW market. And so I think it's always important that if you're trying to learn something, that you find somebody that's doing it in the market or in the industry that you're interested in, so that you're getting actual hands-on experience and education from that individual. And then the third thing that we've done is that over the last year, we've seen where many of the homes that we're purchasing or the leads that we're getting belong to seniors. And so we decided that we wanted to invest some time and some resources in building a senior living community network, to where we're able to help these seniors beyond the point of being able to say, okay, hey, we're going to buy your house or we're going to do this for you. We're connecting them with placement agencies, so social workers, different things that people that were attorneys that do elder law, all these different things that they're going to need as they progress in age. And so it makes life a little bit easier for those families as well. So it all kind of blends into what we do from a real estate standpoint. But we feel like that's another way that we're kind of giving back to our industry and to that community, is kind of by building that network of those senior living resources or folks that are in there, that they're the experts. We can connect these individuals with these experts. And so I'm really proud of the work that we've done over the last year. With that, we hired an individual that's she's our senior transition specialist, and that's her job is primarily adding to and building that network. With that, the MCM University is something my daughter and I work together with. She actually created the content and the material for the university. And so we've brought on, I think we have now, 6 or 7 mentees and mentee couples that are buying property, renovating them, and getting their properties on the market themselves. So we're literally taking and teaching them every aspect of what we do, kind of like day in and day out. And there's a lot of things that they remind me, because all the questions that they ask, right, is like I forget what I take for granted that I'm doing, kind of like just automatically, right? And for them, it's more about breaking the pieces down so they can really understand the process of why we do something, whether it's on the renovation side or how we're evaluating a property, or how we're evaluating the renovations of a property, how it's going to cost, what it's going to cost, all the holding costs, just understanding all the numbers and how that works. And then from the real estate side, we buy, or we try to buy, about 100 properties a year. And so we buy throughout the DFW area. And we're the folks that are coming in and trying to provide a solution for that family or for that realtor, for example, that's involved in the transaction. Because we realize that sometimes there's difficult seller situations, a health crisis, a financial crisis where somebody needs to sell quickly and they need to be able to rely on somebody to follow through, with the transaction. Then you've got the homes where somebody may have moved in. Maybe it's grandma's house and it's, there's going to be a lot of deferred maintenance. It's going to be hard to get that property, sold because of the work that it might need. And so, and there's situations where you're dealing with families. We've bought many houses where we purchased the homes, but lease the properties back to the family for an extended period of time while they take their time finding what they're going to buy next or what they're going to build next. And so we're always about, there's a reason. I always tell people, if it was always about price, the contracts would be one page, right? But because they're 11 pages long, it's because you're also having to solve for all these other things, that are in that contract. And I think that sometimes gets overlooked, is everybody thinks of it as the transaction and what it entails, and it always seems like the price is the bigger piece of that. But there's a lot of intangibles that are there that you're also having to try to solve for, and that's where we take the time to really listen to the homeowner or to the agents that we're working with, because we want to be the whole solution for them. We don't want them to just be one part that we're able to solve one part for them. We want to be able to provide them with a holistic approach or a whole solution to what they're trying to accomplish. So we ask a lot of questions. We want to know. It's not that we're trying to be nosy, but we're trying to help them and try to understand how can we structure our offer that it would be the best and ideal situation for that homeowner.
Sure.
That's kind of all. That's what we do in a nutshell. We got 3 buckets, and that's basically it.
Yeah, no, that's really good, man. I had a question on, well, there's other questions, but my first question would be on your CE. You said you're CE certified and to give the CE courses. So are you guys very active in that? I mean, I know with Christians, I'm not in the title game anymore, but Christian's still working on it. So that's something that you hook up with title companies and you'll give the CE courses for the agents and any agents out there?
Yeah, absolutely. So we love partnering with title companies. We've got we did 2 classes this week for Stewart Title down in Burleson, and then we have some classes scheduled with some other title companies here in March and April as well. So we like to do about two classes or 2 sessions of them a month. I mean, obviously we've got a lot of other things going on, so it's kind of sure. takes up a lot of our time. But we try to plan these out by the quarter, as far as like who we're going to partner with, what title companies. We've gone into brokerages as well. So we've got, where brokers say, hey, we want to provide CE hours to our agents that are in-house, and they have a training room there, or, so we basically go to that brokerage and provide them with that training.
Oh, that's nice. That's I mean, I've never really heard of a real estate company. I know you take a different angle, but giving classes like that. So that's very different. It's cool, but it's very different because most, I think, real estate companies are like, hey, we got the secret sauce and we don't want to talk about it. It's just it's our office, and we're in competition. And I realize that, but again, I think you have a different mindset on what you're trying to do and what kind of a legacy you're trying to leave, of yourself and as well for your kids that are in the business as well. So no, that's awesome.
Really about, I learned a long time ago, it's really about adding value. If I can add value to your business, then in turn you're going to end up adding value to my business. And so for me, it's more of what value can we add to somebody or give someone, rather than the society of gimme type of thing, right? So it's just one of those things. Let's work together. Let's see how we can make this work. And we've partnered with title companies all throughout the DFW area. And so if in large title companies, small ones, small brokerages, large brokerages, we've partnered with several, and I think the fact that when we talk about MCM real estate services, it's different than when you say, well, this is, MC real estate brokerage or realty or something like that. The services part is something that we focus on because it's one of our core values of being service driven. So we're service driven, solution driven, and value driven. We want to add value. We want to solve a situation for you, and we want to provide good service, as we're doing it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So, Christian, are you working on getting Steve in?
We got a class scheduled for March, so we're working with Alex.
Oh, do we? Okay, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
My daughter and I guess coordinates with the title companies. I just have it pop up on my calendar where I'm supposed to be.
You go and do it.
Exactly.
World. Steve's the preacher that just shows up and preaches and goes back home.
Yeah, exactly.
What do they call it? The evangelist, just
Yeah.
goes out and so no, that's awesome, man. And the university, you said is that just so anybody? So if I said, hey, Steve, I want to start attending this, how does that work? Is it cost? Is it what's involved if somebody just wanted to start?
Good question. So we have a 2.5 hour informational where we kind of break down the two most popular pieces of real estate, or people that are easy for people to understand, is the flipping piece, and then the rentals, the buy and hold rentals. So we kind of start with those two. And so we kind of take a deep dive into both aspects and kind of tell them the differences, how to evaluate properties, what to look for, those types of things, kind of what makes a good flip, what makes a good rental, those types of things that we're teaching them. And so that class itself, we teach that class twice a month as well. And so that class is $99 per individual or per couple. So if it's a husband and wife, we just do the $99 for them to come and attend that 2.5 hour course. And then included in that $99 is that we schedule at a later date a kind of like a one-on-one consultation with them, because we want to find out from them what they took away from the class, right? But then also what are their goals? What are their individual goals, or as a couple, where they see themselves, how they want to invest, what the process is for them, what obstacles might be there for them to get started. We're just trying to figure out where their starting point is, because one thing that we realize is that everyone that's interested comes with a different background, comes with a different starting point, and comes with some hurdles or obstacles that we need to account for in order to get them started. So knowing that and sitting down with them and just kind of really trying to figure this out, so we can basically create a path for them. Then we basically we share with them again what a coaching membership would look like, or what a mentorship would look like. And we just see if it's a good fit, if it's something that they feel like they want to do. We kind of have them fill out an application so we can have a better idea, of who they are, where, what's, just know more about them, right? Because we want to make sure it's a good fit. We don't want to put somebody in a position to where we feel like, okay, it's not going to work out for them. There's no sense going through that without, it may not be a good fit for them today, but they may have to do a few things to get themselves ready, and maybe it's going to be a good fit in 6 months, right? Or maybe next year or something like that. So it's all about meeting the student where they are. Okay. Sure. And so that's what we're trying to do. And then depending on which route they want to go, right, we determine what plan was going to work best to get them, on the right foot to success in their investing experience. So it's it's detailed, and there's a process involved, but there's a process with the students in mind. So we know that we're going to have a different starting point for everybody.
Sure.
And different perception of what they think investing looks like.
Yeah, very true. So,
yeah,
you see on YouTube or social media, all these different people, hey, get into investing, buy a house. You don't need any money, you don't need money, you don't need credit, you don't need this and that. how does that, is that true? Is that what's your opinion of all that? And I don't know. I never go that deep into any of those promotions when I see them, but what's your take on that as far as
Yeah.
you being in investing?
Yeah, I think it's something that's completely overblown. Uh, can someone buy one property with nothing, no money, and be lucky enough to find that where they don't need any money? Yes. But to write a book and sell it like that's how every transaction is going to be is a flat
Yeah.
out, that's misinformation for sure. I mean, that's,
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, there's many times we buy great deals, we buy great properties, but it still costs us money out of pocket to close on it, right?
Sure.
And
Yeah.
not even get to the closing. Well, where's the money going to come from for earnest money, right? So it's not like you don't have to have any money, right? It doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily have to take a lot of money to get involved with real estate, but you're going to need some money. It would be idiotic to start any business without having some resources to fall back on in the case of an emergency. I mean, it makes
Yeah.
no sense to me at all. So
Yeah.
you can't, so a lot of times, when you think of where these gurus are coming from, a lot of them are from Florida, Las Vegas, Arizona area, I mean, California and stuff. So it doesn't necessarily what they're selling you is an idea, okay, that maybe this could happen. Doesn't mean it's going to happen in Fort Worth, Texas. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, is that why we're different is that this is where we're investing. We're investing in DFW. Okay. So we know this market, and I know how to coach and mentor somebody in this market. I'm not going to pretend that I know everything there is to know about real estate investing to go lead somebody to buy something in Las Vegas or Los Angeles or, Jacksonville, Florida, or in the Carolinas or whatever, because it's
Yeah.
all different. Every market is completely different, and the laws are different, as
Yeah.
far as real estate, as well, so it's more than just than selling somebody an idea and then having them buy that idea. There's a lot of people I've known people that have paid $15,000, $10,000 for a system, okay, but nobody in nobody's teaching them the how to do it in their market, in
Yeah.
their own backyard, right? These guys
Sure.
come
Yeah.
in, they have a big seminar, they make some sales, they sell their system, and they're gone. They're out. No one's walking the property with them, helping them really evaluate the renovations on that particular house. And that's what makes us different, is we're doing that. We're walking it with them, evaluating it, going over the renovations with them. You're going over the cost of those things on that particular house. So,
Okay. All right. So
yeah.
so we're not going to see a YouTube video of Steve DeLeon coming in on his private jet and
No,
Lamborghini or
not going to
anything.
happen. Not going to happen.
All right. I like it. I like
Not
it.
going to
So no,
happen.
I appreciate the honesty on that, and the way that you guys are going about it, man. That's really cool. So one last question. So if I want to just sell my house, I'm just a guy, hey, I want to sell my house. Are you guys into just say, yeah, I'll list your property, or we'll sell your property, or we'll just help you find a brand new property? Or is your group, your services not really pertain to that side of real estate?
Right. So one of the things that, so when we get a call from a homeowner, right, and they're wanting to sell their home, our intention is to go in there, put our best foot forward, try to make them an offer that solves whatever it is that they're trying to solve or accomplish by selling that home, right? And then for some reason, if it doesn't work out to where they need more money, or the numbers aren't going to work for them, or what we have to offer is just not going to work for them, then what we do is we look at the area that we're in, okay, and let's just say Northeast Tarrant County, for example, if we're in that area there, we have realtor partners that we work with throughout the DFW area. So what we do is then we just refer that client or that homeowner over to one of our agents. We don't, like I said before, we don't really take on any listings We don't work with traditional buyers. Our focus is strictly 100% on the investment
Okay.
side, and that's where we stay. We stay in our lane. We know that investment piece very, very well. So I'm not going to pretend that I know every piece that goes into a listing or representing a buyer. So we can really stay in our lane. So we refer that to one of our realtor partners and let them make the commission and and work with the seller or with the buyer on that end.
Okay. All right. No, that definitely clarifies it. Christian, you have anything that you were going to ask Steve?
No, but I got a bunch of notes here, so I
Okay.
For the show and then just for everything that you're saying. So
Yeah.
no, I Steve, I mean, we've met before, and you met my escrow officer, and we got a little familiar with each other. So I just really appreciate you coming on here with us and sharing your knowledge and some of your stories. And I'm gonna look at Monopoly a whole different way now for the rest.
A whole different way now, right?
I'm gonna go buy one now and go home and be like, hey, this is date night. We're playing Monopoly. I'm gonna teach you how to invest with my notes. So
there you go. There you go. Yeah.
no.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And if you guys are interested in coming to, attending the class or, together, father and son or, husband, bring your wives or whatever, let us know and we'll get you guys registered, get with Alex on that, because I think it's something that's definitely, would open your eyes to really that world and maybe help you better understand, if anything, kind of like what investors are doing and why they do some of the things that they do, or the approach that they take. It might resonate a little bit more for you, because I mean, obviously, your guys are in the social media world, title world, and so you're trying to figure out. So a lot of times, it's not necessarily the all the moving parts, but it's also a lot of the communication and what you're trying to deliver or what message you're trying to deliver to either, to whatever party you're addressing at that time, or whatever audience you're addressing at that time.
Yeah, for sure. No, I would definitely be interested. Steve, one last question before you go. I know we got to let you go here. And you may or may not do this yourself. I speculate you're not really the one in charge of this in your company,
Okay.
but how important is social media to you guys as a company and promoting yourself?
How important?
Yes.
Okay.
And do you use it?
Yes, we absolutely do. We have our MCM Buys Houses Facebook page, and then we're on the Instagram as well, MCM Real Estate Services. But then I share a lot of things that I do day in, day out, silly stuff or whatever, on there on my own personal page. But it's a big piece. I mean, if you're not taking advantage of posting things on social media on a weekly basis, you're really missing out on on that visibility. It's in a sense it's free, right? I mean, you can post whatever you want to post, you can do whatever, so I mean, it can be time consuming, but my daughter is the one that really takes care of all of that. We do have a marketing company that we work with, that we kind of assign projects to them to do for us, and they've been with us for quite a while. I want to say we've been working together for about 5 years, and so it's always good. You can do the small stuff yourself, but then when you want a little project, a little video or something, it's good to have that expert that's there. They can kind of crank that out with you, follow you. We have ours come and they follow us, for a few days, and as we're walking properties, as we're talking to people, as we're closing, as we're doing all these different things, and so that they can create those A rolls and B rolls, so that they can create video down the road for us. So it's super important. I mean, it's really, it's the lifeline. Nobody goes to the newspaper, Yellow Pages, to look for anything. They want to find you. They want to find you on the internet. And I'm sure you guys have done the same thing. You meet somebody new, you're like, okay, let me look them up on Facebook and see what who they're with now, what are they doing, what kind of business they do, that type of thing. We all do that, because that's where you go for information, or the resource, that resource you're going there to get a better idea of who it is that you're going to be sitting in front of to have a conversation with.
Yeah, yeah, very true. And I think, like you said at the beginning, that's sometimes where you find out who they really are by the things they're posting and saying. Looks good.
Yeah, exactly.
Looks good on the outside, but then you start looking at the interior stuff. You're like, oh man, okay, maybe that's not the place we want to go. So
Yeah.
all right, Steve. One last thing, just give us your social media, if your number, give your email, your whatever it might be. Shout that out to us so that we can post it. Yeah, all your
Yeah,
contact info.
absolutely. So the social media, the Facebook business page is MCM Buys Houses. That's and then the Instagram is MCM Real Estate Services. And then our business number is 817-442-2897. And then my cell is 817-798-3268. And then my email address is steve@mcmbuyshouses.com.
All right, Christian, you got all that?
Now you know how to get a hold of me.
Yeah, now
We're
you
gonna
can
be
hide from me. So
You can bombard me now.
Yeah, exactly. We'll definitely we're going to cut the video up, put information, promote you and your company, Steve. We thank you for coming on the show. And what we really, I think Christian will follow up with you on some of this stuff, is we want to, throughout this coming year, is to have certain guests on like yourself that continually come on. And those would be not this format, but would be more of promoting maybe a certain topic, or promoting, a certain aspect of investing or something like that. If you're willing, we'll talk to you about it off air, but where you just can come on and drop some knowledge, in a short little format. So that's something that Christian will probably follow up with you or myself.
Okay, yeah, good.
And talk to you a little bit, because we'd love to have a certain people, like I said, come on continually and just share a little bit of knowledge. I know you've got the university, so some of that is obviously you're keeping for that, but what you feel you could share in a short time, and just at the same time promote investing, promote yourself, and then we're all trying to promote one another and what we're doing, because
Absolutely.
Christian still as a title rep, and then I'm trying to help market Father, Son, and Title Media as just a business where we can work with anybody and everybody who wants to increase their social media presence on all platforms. So man, we'll follow up with you on that. But we thank you so much for coming on, man. It was a lot of stuff that we're going to be thinking about and remembering, a lot of little nuggets you dropped in the conversation.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me. I mean, it's always it's always fun, and I think to me that I work with my kids, I get the fact you guys working together, and we're so blessed in that way, because not everybody gets to do that, right? And so it's really a blessing to be able to have your kids around you, and be able to work with them. So anything I can ever do to help you guys, support you guys, or whatever, we're just a phone call or a text away, and we'll make it happen.
That sounds great. We appreciate you, Steve DeLeon, on the Father, Son, and Title Show podcast. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.
All right. Good deal.
All right, Steve.
Take care.
Take it easy.
You bet.
Bye-bye.